The scene opens in complete chaos. Blood stains the ground, bodies lie lifeless, and screams echo all around. In the center of it all, a single warrior stands victorious, his presence commanding fear and respect. A crown is placed upon his head as he claims his new title, King. Just as he takes in his victory, another figure charges at him, aiming to take his life. But the attempt is futile. With a swift and effortless strike, he eliminates the threat. Then, everything fades. The crowned warrior stares at a mask, lost in thought. His mind drifts as a strange feeling washes over him. Before he can process it, darkness engulfs him. He feels weightless, like he's sinking into an endless ocean. A distant voice whispers through the void, telling him to seek the light in his new life. When he opens his eyes again, everything is different. The once mighty king is now an infant, cradled in the arms of two unfamiliar people. They gaze at him with love and joy, calling him by a name he doesn't recognize, Arthur. His father, with a warm smile, tells him to call him Dad. But Arthur is bewildered. Who are these people? Why is he here? It doesn't take long for him to piece it together. He has died and been reborn in another world. And to make matters worse, he's powerless. No strength, no authority, just a helpless baby in the care of strangers who truly believe he is their son. The days pass, and despite his frustration, Arthur is forced to live the life of a normal child. His father dotes on him, playing with him constantly, while his mother showers him with endless affection. He doesn't understand it. He was once a ruler, a warrior feared by many. Now he can't even lift his own head properly. His new life feels like a cage, a prison where he has no control over anything. He tries to shake the feeling that this is all just a bad dream, but deep down, he knows it's real, and it's only going to get stranger. One afternoon, Arthur watches as his father trains outside. The man is powerful, effortlessly wielding magic to move massive stones. Arthur is in awe. This world has forces beyond his understanding. Just as he's processing this new discovery, his father makes a mistake, injuring himself with a stray rock. Before Arthur can react, his mother rushes over and heals him with high-level magic. Arthur is stunned. If this kind of power exists, then he needs to learn how to use it. The next morning, his father heads into the forest to train again, but this time, he isn't alone. A group of people gathers around him, clearly his allies. Arthur watches from a distance, realizing that combat is a normal part of life in this world. When his father returns home later that day, he's greeted warmly by his wife and son. Arthur studies his father closely, observing every detail. He notices the blood on his hands and the weapon strapped to his back. In this world, it seems carrying weapons is completely normal, maybe even necessary. That means one thing: he needs to grow stronger, fast. Despite his frustration, he finds himself growing attached to this family. Their kindness is foreign to him, something he never experienced in his previous life. He recalls the times he had to fight for survival, always alert, never truly resting. Here, he sleeps in a warm bed, completely safe. It's unfamiliar, but not entirely unwelcome. As time passes, Arthur starts crawling, slowly gaining control over his body. His parents cheer him on, watching closely to make sure he doesn't hurt himself. One day, he catches sight of his reflection in a mirror. Staring at his small, unfamiliar face, he still can't fully accept this identity. The name Arthur, the helpless body, it all feels surreal. One night, after being tucked into bed, he waits until his mother leaves before making his move. Carefully, he crawls out of bed, determined to explore. His goal is the library. He has seen his parents go in there many times, and if he's going to understand this world, books are the best place to start. Slowly and silently, he makes his way there, avoiding detection. When he finally reaches the library, he pulls out a book and starts reading. Knowledge is power, that much he knows. As he flips through the pages, he discovers that this land is called Decadent and is divided into 3 kingdoms. The first is Dwarven Kingdom, a kingdom of people who live underground. The second is Dwarven Kingdom, home to the elves who reside deep within the forests. And lastly, there is Sabin, the kingdom he now belongs to. Unlike his previous world, where power had to be seized, here the throne is passed down through bloodlines. Curious, he grabs another book, but in his eagerness, he knocks both to the floor. He sighs, realizing this world is far less advanced than his old one. Its technology is primitive, but one thing stands out: magic. This world runs on mana, a force that can be inherited and used in two primary ways: enhancement and summoning. Enhancers strengthen their bodies, increasing their speed, power, and durability. Summoners, on the other hand, can manipulate mana to shape reality as they see fit. Arthur thinks back to the healing magic his mother used. If mana follows these two main paths, then there must be exceptions. He flips through more pages, searching for answers. The key to mastering mana, he learns, lies in something called the essence of mana. Most mages begin training around puberty, slowly gathering mana into a single core within their bodies. Arthur's mind races. This concept isn't entirely foreign to him. In his past life, he had mastered controlling his inner energy, using it as a weapon. If he could do that before, then surely he could do it again. Determined, he closes his eyes and focuses. Slowly, he attempts to gather the mana within his body, guiding it toward a single point. It's difficult, but not impossible. He can feel it, the energy responding to his will. But before he can push further, his mother suddenly appears, her voice filled with worry. She scolds him for sneaking off and warns him not to do it again. However, her expression shifts as she looks at him closely, almost as if she senses something different about him. A small smile forms on her lips as she gently pats his head. Arthur had no choice but to accept his reality. Stuck in the body of a baby, he felt trapped. Even the smallest things, like getting his diaper changed, reminded him how powerless he was. He needed to get stronger, fast. 2 years passed, and his mother often wrote in her diary, always praising him as the most beautiful and intelligent child. But there was one thing that bothered her. He had never smiled, not even once. Meanwhile, outside, Arthur was practicing with a stick, swinging it like a sword while his father watched. Impressed, his father called his mother to see, but she was furious. She scolded him, saying Arthur was too young to be handling weapons. Arthur quickly realized that in this world, mothers held all the power. One day, they took a trip to the city, and Arthur couldn't contain his excitement. He observed everything carefully, taking in all the new sights. He saw people using weapons, strange glowing stones, and even real magic. It was a lot to process, but he knew one thing: this world had power he needed to understand. As they headed home, exhaustion took over and he fell asleep, thinking about his new family. Despite feeling suffocated by this life, he couldn't deny that they genuinely cared for him. It made him wonder, wasn't this what family was supposed to be like? His past life flashed in his mind: the orphanage, the loneliness. Feeling warmth and love like this was something he had never experienced before. That night, while he slept, his mother spoke softly to him, mentioning how she noticed his habits, sneaking off to read books, pretending to be asleep when he wasn't. She knew he'd eventually want to explore the outside world. The next day, Arthur watched his father use magic to move stones. Seeing it firsthand made Arthur realize how lucky he was. He had a living example to learn from. His father's magic was powerful, and Arthur was sure now he had inherited the strength of an enhancement-type mage. Arthur's hunger for knowledge grew stronger. He wanted to read more, to understand this world better. When his parents tried to put him to bed, he used his innocent look to convince them to let him stay up and read. His mother resisted at first, but eventually gave in. Over the last 2 years, Arthur had learned a lot, but his biggest discovery was mana cores. He figured out how to gather energy into a single point in his body. It was tough, but his training was finally paying off. Then, disaster struck. A massive explosion rocked the house. His father barely had time to protect his mother before running inside to find Arthur. What he saw left him speechless. His son, not even 3 years old, had managed to control mana essence. Arthur was thrilled by his progress, but before he could process it, wooden beams collapsed toward him. He braced for impact, thinking this was the end, but his parents saved him just in time. His mother cried, overwhelmed by what had happened, but also relieved that Arthur was safe. As he looked at her, something strange happened. His eyes welled up with tears. He had never cried before, never felt this kind of emotion in his past life. He didn't understand why, but he hugged his mother tightly, tears falling freely. For the first time, he truly felt what it meant to be loved. But there was no time to dwell on emotions. Just as things settle down, a terrifying monster is shown. With this, our episode comes to an end. Thanks for watching.